Welcome back to the channel. Natsu here once again, and we're gonna review this Legacy. Now, before I go any further, please like and subscribe. It help a lot the channel. Now, having said that, let's start with some tips for this game. If you go over here, you see options, and normally, you see your options over there. But I want you to notice that what's showing up, right? If you click Start Game and then go to Options once again, you will see a new option that says Enable Crossplay. So yes, this game has crossplay, but the way to enable it will be inside the main menu. And yes, this is actually the main menu. It looks kind of funky, and I like it, because you can interact it, with this quick menu, but you can also interact with it, sorry, with the character. Now you might be saying, what do you mean with the character? And you can see I'm walking, right? And you see some stuff hanging around, and technically these are the same options that when you click start you can do engage with them really fast. But if you don't want to go that route, you can walk towards the game mode that you want and then press an attack button, and that way you will be able to enter that mode. For example, you can do it like this way. You can walk, right? And you can also like dash, jump, whatever. It doesn't matter the option that you're gonna do. And if you want to engage with it, you click like attack button, and it will allow you to engage in that mode. Now you can see when you go in versus, there's different modes like free for all, which means it's a free for all. And you can also do teams, and you can also enable tournament mode, which can make it like first to 2, first to 5, etc, etc. Now, regarding to matchmaking, which is online versus, right? You can select different modes at the same, like it can be teams or it can be free for all. Also, it seems that it's region lock, but you can select the region. So, for example, if you're from the States, you will select North America. But let's say that you bought the game and you're in South America. I think by default it will set you up to North America. So you need to select it beforehand so you can access to those people and play it. Now, when you go to the story mode, you can select different characters. Now, keep in mind that the only thing I'll have like a small gripe about this is that when you select the character, the color will be the default one. So you cannot select a different color if you are that kind of person like me. So you need to rock the whole story with the actual default color. Another thing I want to mention about matchmaking is that if you want to select your character, you need to select it beforehand. You can do this in the main menu by clicking, at least in the PlayStation 5, in the big black button in the middle. I'm not sure in the Xbox nor Steam version, but it should show you at the bottom what button should be the one that allows you to get access to that option. Also, another thing I want to mention is that the characters all have 17 colors, but by default you will have 5 colors to choose from. If you want the extra colors, at least in my case, what I'm been noticing is that you at least unlock some colors in story mode. The other colors, I'm not so sure. I will believe that maybe in arcade mode, but I may be wrong. I don't want you to quote me on that. At least on story mode, when I did it with Rory, it was like I got up to 10 colors unlocked. So I am still missing 7 of them. And if you have been seeing the screen, you will notice that there's some colors that has been locked. And again, if you compare it to other characters, since I have done story mode with other characters besides Rory, I have less colors with those other characters. But something super good about this game is that each character feels way different from each other. There might be some small overlaps, like maybe some characters can fly, but it's not like Street Fighter. I don't want to make it, but they're Shotos. So if you select Akuma, Ken, and Ryu, all 3 characters have a DP, which is a Shoryuken, a Hurricane Kick, and a Hadouken. And there might be some small difference in frame data between them, or maybe combo possibilities. For example, in Akuma, you can juggle out for a Tatsunaki, a Hurricane Kick. But anyways, what I'm saying is this game is super, super different. You can also verify command list, and you can also see the replays. Now, something I want to mention is that over here in this game, there's expect mode and there's replay. Now, the replays technically are linked to you, and the spec mode are replays for other people that aren't you. Now, you will notice over here that at least over here, you can not like you can see the names of the players, right? And you can also do a takeover. And another thing that I think is a little bit sucky is that even though depending on when you click on the spectator mode, you can see the fights, but you cannot see them from the beginning. And you can take over any character. If you want to take over a character, this also applies for replays, like with your replays. If you want to select, for example, let's say Saga, you will select the circle one, and you will notice that it will allow you to take over. Just so you can compare, when you click expect mode, sometimes the list won't populate all together because it's taking the most recent one. I don't know if it's taking the most recent replays in the last 30 minutes, etc. And now if you go to replays, you will at least see your 7 most recent gameplays. Now, what I mean by 7 is that there isn't second page or third page. It's only the last 7s that you can see. In the case of the replays, you can see from the beginning, which means, you can see what the characters select and go from there, right? And you also notice over here that, unfortunately, in the case of replay, like I mentioned before, you cannot see your name. So you need to have like a good idea of what character you were using and what color, because you can see this is a mirror match over here. Now, let's go with training mode because this is something that they did really well. It's kind of different in some scenarios. For example, you can see below on the first, on the left side and the right side. In the left side, it will be the frame data for your character. In the right side, it will be the frame data for your opponent, right? And, you can test out your combos, etc. And it has everything all together regarding, like, changing the meters. You can also record actions for the dummy. You can also add other characters, right? And you can also add stuff like, for example, if they can recover after a knockdown or changing lanes. Now, the difference with this menu is that compared to other fighting games, the way they move things around, you might find it kind of weird. So, for example, if you go to match options, you can see and select the stages. By default, this training stage will be the always that's going to be selected. But, for example, once you change it, you can see that it shows a new stage really fast, which is amazing. Now, if I want to go, for example, let's say the game modes, right, I need to go to the match options, right? And the same with the position. What it means position is like trying, for example, let's say you want to reset your position on where you are. So if you're in the corner, you want it to go to the center. Now, unlike other fighting games where the default button to make that change to getting back to the center or reset the whole scenario, like a press of a button, it will be like the big black button in the PlayStation. But in this case, you need to hit all 4 buttons, A, B, C, and D. Something I want to mention is that when you see the grids, it's kind of weird when you enable it. I don't think it's that clear. If you want to change the meter of your character, you need to go to the player one. Otherwise, you won't find that option. If it was Electrified 6, it will be a different tab altogether. But this one, you need to go and select it via the player. Okay? In few words, the training mode is perfect. It has everything that AAA game like Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8 might have. So it's really great on that regard. Now, you can see there's arcade mode, right? And then, there's leaderboards. If you like that stuff, whatever. I don't know if this was intentional, but if you can see that, for example, the global, there's only 7 people showing up. Now, if you go to arcade, score or time, you can also see that you can only see 7 characters. There isn't an option to scroll and look for your information like other leaderboards that I have seen. Again, this is like, when I mention this small stuff, I think they can change it as a quality of life. I'm not sure if they're going to do it. In the case of leaderboards, whatever. Another positive thing about this game is that while in story mode or arcade mode, you can, and also training mode, right, you can wait for a match. Now, here's where I'm going to start changing a little bit positive into more like a negative or do more criticism. So before I go that route, actually, I want to mention that I think the game, play-wise, is fun. Combos aren't that hard, so it's easy for any beginner to pick up the game. But, and here's the big but, when it comes to the online experience, it's like, okay, what is going on? So, I'm going to show you some clips so you can understand. So for example, over here I accept a match, right? And you can see if they're in PlayStation, Steam, etc., right? Now, there isn't any Wi-Fi indicator. I think there is once you're inside or a rematch. But the problem with this is that you're going to see the pings, know where they're from. And, you know, if I go to Steam charts, there isn't like, I can see data for the game. And right now, it's looking cool. It's moving excellent. The rollback is working as intended, but it can become super hectic. And again, something that is good in balance-wise is that moves can hit, you know, both characters at the same time. And to be honest, like, like, I don't know, you know, I'm dropping combos. And that's when I started noticing that maybe there is like an issue with the rollback. Or maybe it's just me because, you know, I'm learning that. But see that small hiccup that happened there? Let me show it again. Now you can see that my opponent activated a super, but then when she clicks me, once I check a super and go over here, try to do the combo, I go and unfortunately I do a side switch because I didn't want to do that. So sometimes the game will try to help you position to the closest character. I believe that's what's happening. So not only that, when it also, you know, that it does like a weird jump, that is because the rollback is doing a rollback, to be honest. And this happens, at least in this fight, didn't happen that much. But later, different sessions that I have with different people, it was wild, like super wild. Like I was in a lane, and then I appear over there, and the person teleported to me. Again, I think the big issue is that rollback netcode is hard to, you know, iron it out because there's always going to be the issue of, oh, is this person Wi-Fi? Is this person in editor? Is this person speed good or bad? Where are they from? There's so many variables that I understand that it will be hard for the developer team, at least the one that are working the rollback, to iron that out. But sometimes my experience were horrible. I couldn't play. I couldn't have fun. At least in this match, I did have fun, but it got crazy, like really crazy. Regarding game mechanics of the game, I think they work. The parry ghost thingy is kind of weird, to be honest. Like I don't know how to, I don't know what are the requirements. See, like see the rollback jumping back, and see I'm hitting somebody and it jumps back. For example, he used the parry option, but see it came back. My super I hit. It is, you know, when it happened, it's horrible. Like for example, let's see. There's an area that where technically the opponent was gonna kill me. Like it was gonna be a win for them if they didn't drop the combo. But it wasn't that he dropped the combo. It's just like he did a you know, like super wild rollback. I messed up the combo here, and that should have worked. See this? Look at this. And this rollback sometimes happen like 90 or 75% of the battles I had. When it worked perfectly, but I think the issue is trying to connect 4 people at the same time. Unfortunately, rollback netcode in fighting games isn't still that good on that regard. And I'm not sure if this can be fixed. Hopefully, it can be. I hopefully do because I think this game is fun. I know some people have been talking about balance. Again, there's some stuff that I want to talk. For example, the training mode that they give you at the beginning. It's used bare bones. It's used move to. You can move the character to right to left. Are your attack buttons. You can dash, etc., etc. But there are things that I don't know how I can do it still, and I needed to go and look to the page or different videos so I can understand some mechanics. For example, there is a push block mechanic, and there's also it seems like there's like a burst that I can use to break from combos. But like I ain't done that stuff by mistake, and there's nothing in the game tutorial wise showing me how to enable that, right? Also, I don't know, like if you know, since he's not troll, like what kind of scaling it is super weird. Again, I hope this gets fixed in the future, but if you're somebody that loves to have, you know, like good online experience, because you're not gonna play this with a lot of people offline, because even though it has co-op, like you can play offline with other people, and I imagine there's gonna be a freaking blast. So anyways, guys, do I recommend this game? Yes, I think it's a solid entry to fighting games. It's a weird fighting game, to be honest.
If you have played Guilty Gear Isuka, technically it's like that, but modernized. Guilty Gear Isuka had a lot of issues because you needed to manually change sizes, but maybe this version might need it. Because like I mentioned, sometimes if the opponent is close to you, it will change. And then because it changed automatically, you get open up to getting a combo. Again, there's sort of stuff that I know they implemented. For example, Saga, which is the grappler, she can pick characters that are both to the left and the right, but also to the front and the back lanes. And that's another thing. Like moving from lane to lane is more like Final Fury old school real bout. It's not like Final Fight or Streets of Rage where you can move up and down, but here you need to manually do it. So again, it is what it is. I think it's an interesting option, a bold decision to make a kind of fighting game instead of going the normal formula. I hope the game does well. I think it has a lot of potential. I think, if we compare it to other fighting games that are indie, these are one of the best ones, to be honest, right now. And they're so close to make this game get way better with small quality of life improvements. But again, I want to know from you guys, if you have played this game online, please let me know your experience. Was it like me? Maybe it's just me, right? I'm in Puerto Rico, so that is like close to Cuba, but I get better gameplay with people from the States, but I get horrible connections with people from Dominican Republic or even Brazil or Mexico. So I don't know. Maybe it's just a case that it happens to me because of where I'm living. But like I have my speeds are really good, to be honest. So there's so many things that happen when you're playing online. But anyways, guys. Also in PlayStation 5, the game is $30, but I think until the 17th there's gonna be a discount only for 10%. So instead of $30, it's like 27 or something like that, or 29. I mean, or 28. I don't remember correctly, but yeah. If you're interested in the game, test it out. At least in Steam because the demo is free. In case of PlayStation, you'll need to buy it, but at least it's on discount for the meantime. Let me know in the comments below. Are you interested in this game? How your experience was, and as always, like and subscribe and see you next video. Bye bye.